They warned us that the Arctic doesn't forget what's buried in it. I used to laugh that off, just a poetic way of saying nothing decays up here. But now, after what happened in the thawing field, I know better. We were 6 researchers stationed at Outpost K-9, miles from the nearest satellite relay. Our job was simple: extract permafrost cores, document trapped gases, monitor melt rates. Day after day, white silence, cold breath, humming generators. Nothing ever changed until the morning. I cracked open core sample 47. Inside the ice, something glinted. Not quartz, not sediment, a human tooth. At first we joked about it. Maybe a buried explorer, maybe some unlucky trapper. But when we thawed the sample under the UV lamp, black strands started surfacing. Hair, then nails. All of it coiled together in perfect spirals, like someone had arranged them before freezing. Dr. Vasquez went pale. "That's deliberate patterning," she muttered. "Like ritual assemblage." That night, our radios cut out. No static, no signal, just silence. Then faintly through the vents, I heard my name. Not spoken, exactly, more like breathed. I told myself it was just wind slipping through the ducts. But then everyone else heard it too. Their own names, whispered under the ice. Always in the same rhythm, the same calm cadence. By the next morning, the ice field behind the outpost was pitted with holes. Smooth, round, as if something beneath had pushed upward and melted its way out. Dr. Vasquez wanted to leave immediately, but our snowcats wouldn't start, and the temperature was rising unnaturally fast. -40 to -10 in under an hour. The permafrost was liquefying. We went to check the extraction zone. The ground steamed. Beneath the surface, pale shapes shifted. I leaned down to look closer, and the frost exhaled. A thin plume of vapor rose, warm against my face. That's when we realized the ice wasn't preserving anything. It was containing it. By the 3rd day, our camp reeked of rot and copper. The walls sweated condensation. The floorboards bowed. At night, the whispers turned to voices. Full sentences now, speaking through the radio speakers even though the power was dead. They spoke about us, about our dreams, about how we'd be remembered. One by one, the others vanished. Dr. Vasquez first. Her boots left a single trail, leading out toward the field. Then nothing. Markov followed. He went outside screaming that the ice was breathing in sync with him. I stopped sleeping after that. I sat by the window and watched the field rise and fall like a lung under snow. Tonight, the generators are quiet. My breath fogs the glass, but the air beyond it doesn't look cold anymore. It ripples, faintly golden, like light passing through water. There's movement beneath the surface. I can see faces in the melting ground. Not frozen corpses, but living ones. Eyes moving, lips forming words. I can't hear yet. The air feels warm now. Too warm, like it's breathing against my skin. I think it's remembering me. If anyone finds this outpost, don't touch the cores. Don't breathe too deeply. The field's awake now, and it doesn't forget what it's thawed. When I inherited my grandfather's orchard, I expected rot, weeds, and silence. Instead, I found music. The first night I slept there, the ground seemed to vibrate beneath my bed. Not enough to shake the frame, just a subtle hum. Low, constant, almost like a note held forever on a cello string. I thought it was the wind. But the air outside was still, and the sound was coming from the trees. The orchard was massive, its boundaries swallowed by fog. The trees grew close together, roots tangled like veins, and the fruit, pale red spheres with translucent skin, pulsed faintly when I touched them. I could feel them breathing. That first touch unsettled me. The fruit quivered beneath my thumb, like it had a heartbeat. I dropped it immediately, and the vibration stopped, only to start again, stronger, when I backed away. That night, I found a note in my grandfather's desk. One line: never prune what remembers. At dawn, the hum was louder. It came from everywhere. The ground, the branches, the mist. My teeth buzzed from it. I grabbed a pair of shears and went to work anyway. The trees hadn't been tended in decades. I had to start somewhere. When I made the first cut, the tree bled. Not sap, blood, dark and viscous. It sprayed across my hands, warm and coppery. The soil beneath me trembled. I fell backward, shears slipping from my grip. The hum deepened, turning into a moan that rolled through the orchard like a heartbeat too big for the earth to hold. That's when I noticed the nameplate, a small brass tag nailed into the trunk, half covered by bark. I wiped it clean. Eleanor Briggs. That name was familiar. It took me a second to remember. A girl who went missing from town nearly 30 years ago. Her face used to be on every lamppost. I stumbled from tree to tree. Each had a name. All of them missing people. Some recent, some old. By sundown, my hands were shaking so badly I couldn't hold a pen. My reflection in the window looked wrong. Veins darker, almost blue-black beneath my skin. My breath fogged the glass, leaving a faint sweet scent like ripened fruit. The humming never stopped now. It grew inside me, vibrating behind my ribs. My pulse synced with it. When I pressed my ear to my chest, it didn't sound like a heartbeat anymore, more like a branch groaning under its own weight. I tried to leave, but the fog around the orchard wouldn't let me. It moved with me, like it was alive, whispering. The ground was soft, too soft. My boots sank half an inch into it, and the soil felt warm. That was 3 days ago. I haven't eaten or slept since. I don't feel hungry though. I just feel rooted. I went out to the edge of the orchard this morning and saw a new sapling sprouting from the earth. Thin, pale bark, humming faintly. Its tag glimmered in the fog. Daniel Cole. My name. I can't move anymore. The hum is inside my throat now, rising with every breath. My skin feels tight, splitting in places where bark has begun to show. By harvest season, they'll find me here, if they find me at all. Just another tree among the others, humming the same endless note. And God help whoever tries to prune me next. When I bought the old relay station, it was supposed to be a hobby, something to tinker with on weekends. A forgotten patch of desert, an aging broadcast tower, and a promise of silence. That's what I wanted. The building sat low in the valley, surrounded by dunes that shifted with every windstorm. The locals said it was haunted by voices of the sand. I laughed. Old frequencies bounce. That's all. Static plays tricks on people. The first week, everything stayed quiet. I replaced the copper wiring, patched the cracked dishes, even got the analog transmitter working. The signal strength was weak, but stable. Then one night, exactly midnight, the transmitter turned on by itself. A slow click of the relay, the hum of power through the coils, and then, through the speakers, a string of coordinates. They repeated every 13 seconds. When I mapped them, they formed a perfect circle around the station. The next morning, I drove out to check. There they were, circular impressions carved into the sand, like something had dragged itself in a flawless path overnight. No tire tracks, no footprints. That should have been enough to make me leave, but I couldn't. I needed to know how the signal started. At midnight the next night, the transmission started again. This time faint feedback under the coordinates, a whisper I couldn't make out. I boosted the gain and nearly dropped my headphones. It was my name, whispered between bursts of static, and then a countdown. 30, 29, 28. It reached 1 and stopped. The transmitter clicked off. The following day, I dug at the first coordinate point. The sand was loose, almost warm. A few feet down, I hit something hard, not stone, bone. A human skeleton, wired together with thin strands of copper. The metal woven through the ribs like circuitry. The skull had holes drilled into it. The copper coiled inside, leading off into the earth. That night, the countdown started again. But this time, It began at 40. I unplugged the transmitter, cut the power. Still, I could hear it, faintly through the air vents, the voices bleeding through the static, whispering numbers that vibrated in my teeth. I checked the radio logs. Each time the transmitter activated, the signal strength increased. Someone, or something, was amplifying it. The source trace? Not from the tower. From inside the station. Or maybe from me. I noticed it first, when I leaned over the console. The static grew louder. My fillings ached. When I stepped back, it faded. My own body was conducting the signal. That realization hit like a cold shock. I wasn't listening to the broadcast. I was transmitting it. Now, every night, the countdown starts higher. 50, 60, 70. The voice has grown clearer, layered over mine. Sometimes it speaks before the countdown begins. Closer, it says. Stronger. I can feel the vibrations in my skull now, like wires tightening beneath my skin. My blood tastes metallic. When I open my mouth, I swear I can hear feedback. The coordinates tonight trace another circle, smaller, tighter, centered right beneath the building. I know what it wants me to dig for, and I think I already know what I'll find. If anyone's listening to this frequency, stay off channel 7. Don't follow the coordinates. Don't answer the countdown, because it doesn't stop at 0. It starts again, one number higher, and when it does, it'll be your voice broadcasting next. Thanks for listening. Now close your eyes and sleep.